this is Jen from Scrappy Posh, and I am here with an Artistic Studio Creation Design Team project. I'm going to start with the mustard Heidi swap, and it's just because I don't have a yellow in any other color or any other brand, and then my Dilutions Crushed Grape, which Crystal has these in her store. So first I'm going to use my nonstick mat, and if you don't have one, again, Crystal has them. And then I just have this spritzer for water, which I use all the time. And I'm going to take my card, and this is a 110-pound cardstock. I am going to get some multi-ferrous cardstock to try it out, but right now this is all I have. Looks like I have some residual here. I think that's probably black, because that's what I used last. And then I'm just going to spray a bit of crushed grape right here, and then I'm going to add some more water. Now this is way too much ink for just one card, so I have several sitting here of different sizes. So I'm just going to dip, and we'll see how that comes out. That one looks really nice to me. I have a little excess here that I want to get rid of. I really like the way that kind of bunched up over here. And then I set it aside to dry completely. You can set it aside, or you can use your heat gun if you want. This is getting a little muddy here, so I don't know how these are going to come out. But like I said, I'm not wasting it. And we're just going to set this right down in top here. It's a little bit too separated for me, so I'm going to touch base over here and then back over here with the purple. So that one's pretty neat, and it's getting muddy, so I'm going to clean that up. I still have some cards. I still have some cardstock there, so I'm going to show you another way to do it. I have my colors pulled for this card, and I'm using the Distress Oxides. So that was my wet towel. Here's my dry one. So I'm going to take this smaller one. I don't think this is card sized. And I'm going to take a large acrylic block that's a little bit smaller than the card, and I'm going to stamp my Distress ink or Distress Oxide right on the stamp pad. I'm going to do the same with this yellow. And this is mustard seed. This is carved pumpkin. And then I'm going to add some seedless preserves. I'm going to try to not get the yellow on there. I think I did pretty good. I'm going to take my water, spritz the block, and then take my card and put it right. I think I need a little bit more here because that's separated. I'm going to take my card and put it right down on the block. There we go. I'm going to leave that just the way it is, let it dry. And then I have another piece of card. I'm going to, I don't want to put my ink on that wet spot, but I do want some more yellow. So I sprayed it with the Heidi. It's nice yellow. Okay, one more piece of cardstock. I'm going to clean off my block. And let's put down some seedless preserves right in the middle of this. And spray. And I got a larger piece of card here. We're going to do half and half. Okay, so now we got some options. I think I need a little bit more yellow over here, so I'm going to spray directly onto the card. I like that. And we're going to let all these dry and we'll pick one. So these are how our pieces came out all dry. This is the one we're going to use. And I cut it down to 3 3/4 by 5. You can see that. It's orange here and then purple. This one's also a contestant. We have an almost all orange one and a almost all purple one, and then a yellow and orange one. And it didn't come out, none of them came out muddy at all. So I'm happy with those. We'll make some more cards with those. We're going to start with this guy. And I got those Distress Oxides in carved pumpkin, squeezed lemonade, mustard seed, seedless preserves. I have a Versifying black. And then I have a Stampin' Up! Orange, but whatever orange you have will work fine. I also have some matting paper and a black card. And then water off to the side. A spreader thingy, the makeup brush spreader. Nouveau Copper. Aqua Shimmer in Sunlit Sienna, and my favorite white pen is a brush Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pen, and white brush pen, and a brush and some water. And I'm going to get my other spreader thingy out for my seedless preserves. Okay. So let's start by, if you haven't made masks, make you some masks. It makes your life a lot easier. So what this is I think this is a 1.5 inch circle punch, and then this is the offcut from it. And we're going to put the moon or sun right here over this purple. I'm going to start with the mustard seed. I start off of the mat, or off of the stencil. Try not to move your stencil. You gotta get a better grip on it. And since oxides cover, we go right over that. I got a little bit of a spot where my stencil moved, but that's okay. And then I'm going to go back in with my squeezed lemonade and lighten up some on this side. Okay, and there's our little sun. And then I go in with the cut of the moon. Here, I put it over the yellow. I'm going to bring in my distressed seedless preserves. And again, you start off on the stencil and go out so that you don't have any harsh lines. You're going to get purple on your finger right now. Start on the stencil and go out. Okay. And then that really brightens that up. There we go. And then we're going to do the bottom, and I just took 2 pieces of paper and tore them to look like mountains. And I'm going to start with my carved pumpkin. I'm going to turn it sideways so it's easier for me. Start with the carved pumpkin. Hold your stencil on. And I'm going to start on the stencil and go down. But you don't have to go down all the way. Okay, there's that one. And you can either turn this around like this. I got some up there, I shouldn't have. You can turn it around like this, or you can get a completely, totally different piece of paper. And I'm going to go up quite high here because I got ink over this. Actually, we'll go one, we'll just make 3 layers. How about that? And you can overlap your other layer if you want. Okay, there's another one. And then we'll turn him over. I just turned my same stencil over. And I'm going to go on the mustard seed on this one. It's going to have a little bit of the orange mixed in, so that's fine. Okay, there's our little mountains. There we go. Now, since I want this card to be mostly orange, I'm going to start and go all the way around with the carved pumpkin. I'm going to take the stencil. I'm going to use this because I don't want to smear my current work. Start off of the page and go on. I'm going to take my little moon stencil and cover it up, even though it's the same color. It'll give it a different look, and it won't get that purple on there. Okay. Now we get to stamp. And we can always add some more later, but the first thing I'm going to do is stamp Celeste. I like to get my stamping pad out because I don't trust myself. And we're going to use the black VersaFine. I'm using black VersaFine because that's what Lavinia uses. Everything you added in the oxide is subject to smear until it's dry. But the purple that we sprayed on earlier should be fine. Okay. Let's get my Celeste out. Place her where I want her. I want her hair going up into that sun. I'm going to turn it sideways again because it's just easier for me. Dab the ink on the stamp until I have all the coverage. And straight down. And they say leave it there for a couple of seconds because it's going to seep into the paper because it's an oil-based ink. That's what they say. So, pull her up, and she needs restamped because I'm just not a good stamper. And that's why I have my Tim Holtz stamp thingy. Okay. I don't think if I didn't have this, I wouldn't be able to do this. If I didn't have my Tonic Studios stamp platform. She's still not stamping here, which I'll try one more time, and if not, then we'll just use our filler technique, which I'm kind of excited about too, because I like the pen I use for that. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, with this Summit Sienna copper pen, in order to use it, you have to take this bright green thing off, just in case you didn't know. There we go. She stamped out that time. Okay, beautiful. I just have a stamping block here. I'm going to clean my stamp. I'll show you how. I have this very old stamp cleaner. I spray plain water onto my stamp. And then rub it off. And put Celeste back. Okay, I think that's the only thing I'm going to use my stamp platform on. We're going to wing the rest of it. And we're going to do oops, the berry wreath. And I think I'm just going to use the small one because I think the big one is a little too big. So, but we'll try. Yeah, I just think that's a little too... Yeah, we'll just use the small one. Use my bigger one. And this is where we're going to use the pumpkin pie Stampin' Up, but you can use any orange ink you have. I've had these Stampin' Up inks forever, and Stampin' Up ink, with the exception of the black, seem to last forever. I don't know what's up with the black. It just dries out faster. It's not because I use it more. Okay. We're going to kind of go around Celeste with the berries. I'm going to clean it the same way. I actually just sprayed my pad this time. You do get your stamp blocked over when you do that. You just have to wipe it off before you stick something else to it. Okay. Now, I thought we'd use these little sparse branches to kind of make it look deserty. So this one is called Tree Branch, and again I'm going to use my orange, and I'm going to just stamp right off the page and just get like the tops of the tree branches in there. So like make it look really sparse. And we can go off to the side. And you can do a second generation stamp on there to make them look further away. Okay, that's all I need there. I'm done with my orange. And now is the time to like add details. And I have these little bushes from Tree Scene. This is totally optional. It's just to add a little tiny bit. And instead of using the Stampin' Up! Orange, the darker orange, I'm just going to use the carved pumpkin. And I'm just going to go on either side. And I'm going to try and follow the hills, but we're going to wash it out anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to go this side, like that, and like this a little bit. I don't want to go back over Celeste because she's already stamped. So there won't be any behind her. Now I'm going to go back through with my orange, and I'm just going to blend out some of the new inking that I added. Starting off of the page. And then going to get my, I'm going to clean off my mat here. I totally recommend this mat. You don't see how easy it is to use. I'm going to take my purple, dab just a bit. This is, again, seedless preserves. Spray a bit of water. I'm just going to go and color in her wings with some watered down seedless preserves. I'm gonna go and you don't have to color them all in, but I would stop adding color so that the lightest is towards her body. I'll do the same with the bottom. Add color on the outside. Water it down a little bit, and then so it gets a little lighter as it goes in. So that's all I'm going to do with that. And now for the fun part. This is Sunlit Sienna Nouveau Shimmer, Aqua Shimmer. And Crystal should have these in the store. I've already used it, but you take this little neon green wring out and then squeeze it. And that shimmer comes out. I'm not very good at using it yet. So I'm just going to squeeze out the shimmer and then use I'm going to use this for some of it, but for when I run out, I'm going to use what I just squeezed out on the table with my paintbrush. And just go over her little strands of hair. And when it gets up into like the beef of her hair, like right up against her scalp, you're pretty much just coloring it in. Use what I got here on my desk. I squeezed it out. But if you just follow the squigglies, follow her hair. I'm going to turn her upside down because I want the thick part to be next to her scalp and then it to get thinner as the brush runs out of paint. I'm sure you guys could do better than me at this, but you get the idea. Nova's exhausted. Okay. There she is. And just wipe it off the mat. Okay, the next thing I want to do is go in with my Faber-Castell white brush pen, and this is going to give me a nice highlight, but it's not too bright. It's a brush pen, so it kind of is a little bit transparent. And I'm just going along some of the parts of her body that I think would be highlighted. And I'm probably not exactly right, but I'm good with that. I get an A for effort. And then these little tendrils that stick out, I'm just going to put a dot in there. Okay, now I want to show you my other pen that I love for stamping, and that is my Sharpie brush pen. And whenever you put too much of that on, you just go back through with your brush pen, or if you don't get a complete stamped image, you just go back through with your brush pen. I don't like that on her face. Yeah, that's my Sharpie brush pen. I love it. So I totally fixed her face where I didn't like where I put the highlight. I do want to put one on her little feet. On the top of her feet. Like that. Okay, there she is. And now I'm going to mat it because I have to go to work and I want it done. So I have my regular size card. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 once it's folded apart. It's 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 before you do that. And then my layers are, I'll just measure them for you. I just have an orange that matches my ink, and it's like a 5 3/8 by a 4 1/8. I'll put that on first. I'm going to It's only a 1/16 of an inch all the way around, so you have to make it kind of snug. And it looks like I didn't exactly cut it straight, but that's okay. So this would be 4. Where's my thing? This one's 5 1/4 by 4. That's what I thought. And this is just some very old pattern paper that I had cut into card-sized pieces. And then I cut it down again. And then again, Celeste here is 3 3/4 by 5. I'm not exactly sure how dry that copper is yet, so I'm carefully picking it up and rotating it. If the copper gets somewhere else on the thing, I'm not real worried about it. Okay, there we go. And she goes right in the middle. You can always add a black behind this, but I think we're good here. So there's my cards so far, and then I have my copper Nouveau drops. I'm trying to find if it's actually called copper penny. I'm gonna do a test squeeze. My first card, I did a test squeeze. It came out really hard, but I went ahead and kept doing it, and then I ended up with huge blotches on my card because there was like a chunk stuck in there. So we're just going to add copper blobs all over these little berry branches. Alright guys, there's our card. So I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial craft with me type deal. And if you want some more Lavinia stamp or card tutorials in general, I'm not an expert by far, but I will be more than happy to do some more. Thank you very much. Head on over to ASC Supplies on Etsy and get your Lavinia stamps and other supplies, and we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot. Comment, like, and subscribe. Bye-bye.